What is up guys, BigWilfo aka Tom is back again with another Modern Warfare 3 gameplay commentary, and today I've got a 6v6 regular kill confirmed game on the map Dome, and as many of you probably know, Dome is the smallest map, so I'm assuming this could pose a few issues for a lot of players and how to sort of go about playing this map and how you can get a lot of success from it. So a few comments on my last video wanted me to talk more about the gameplay. They enjoyed me sort of analysing my own gameplay and how it can help you. So I've laid on a bit of a tutorial here, I've got some overlays and all sorts, and I'm really proud of this video so far. So I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please remember to leave a like and a comment. This took me ages to do. So like I was saying, this is a little tutorial about how you can manipulate and predict the spawns and how best to sort of position yourself on this map to get the best success. So without further ado, I will jump into the first overlay here just before I call in this Predator missile. So here's a bird's eye view of the map Dome, and the enemy can spawn in any 4 positions. They can spawn in the ladder side of the dome being the big golf ball-y thing, that's what I've called it. They can also spawn the opposite side, what I've called the cave side of the dome, because it's really near an exit to the big cave thing. Talking of the cave, they can also spawn obviously in the cave, and be wary of this because they can spawn down this little tunnel, and they can also spawn in the actual bunker, so if you spawn, be careful about different spawn points within it. They can also spawn in the office, as you can see in the overlay there, and again, same as the cave, they can spawn in all the nooks and crannies. So if I swap these little spawn points out for people, enemies, as you can see the troll face, every single route they can take from the spawn leads towards the middle of the map. Now this is really important because my strategy for playing Dome is to stay in this green area. As it's here, you're ultimately going to get the most traffic and therefore get the most kills. But they're not going to come from every single spawn point at once, as you saw in that overlay. What you have to do is predict which spawns and then predict which way you need to look. As you can see here, I'm looking towards the office exit, and because I know that's where they're going to be spawning, but if the spawn switch, I need to be able to, you know, cotton onto that as quickly as possible and switch where I'm looking. As you can see there, we have got a UAV up, so I don't need to do that much thinking on how the spawn switch. But even if the UAV wasn't there, I would know they're spawning there because all my teammates are behind me, which leads me on to my next point. How can you predict quickly and efficiently where they're going to be spawning? Here you ask. Well, as a general rule of thumb, in Call of Duty, the enemy is going to spawn as far away as possible from you and your team. So if you're miles away from your team, you're more likely to run into people spawning right in front of you. And that's where flanking comes in. That's why flanking can often be a really useful thing to do. Secondly, if you're with your team, the enemy are going to spawn as far away as possible. And that's not always a bad thing, as you can pick people off from a long way away if you're using an assault rifle like I am here, or a sniper for example, and you've just got to place yourself in the right situation. You see here my Overwatch goes a bit crazy, and it's nothing to what happens a bit later in the video. You should see my air support in a few minutes time. So the key to Dome is to placing yourself in the middle of the map and then predicting the spawns efficiently, and that is what I did in this game. I think I finished 51 and 6 or 8, I don't think I mentioned that earlier, which is a really good score for me on 6v6 regular kill confirmed. And the way I did it was just from knowledge. My gun skill isn't extraordinary, it's just you've got to think what to do. And you see, I didn't want to get in this gunfight, he had the advantage on me, but I do get shot in the back, which is pretty annoying. Now, when you are trying to get make your way back to the green area, don't just run across the map. That would be fairly silly. Like I'm doing here, I'm going to slowly push my way back to the green area. And I know they're spawning in the cave, I can see the UAV, so I know for the time being I'm safe behind this Jeep, and I can just pick people off as it happens. And you see I get picked off here, and I think that we're going to my second overlay in a few seconds time, and I've spawned fairly close to the green area. I know I can get back to there, so that's what I'm going to do. I know they're going to be spawning over here because all my teammates are behind me, and this is reinforced here. If you see the mini-map, all my teammates are to my right, so I know they're going to be spawning towards the dome area or in the offices. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit tight because they're going to be spawning right under my nose. I'm not going to go in and try and rush the spawn as I would have done in Black Ops, which would have been the silly thing to do. But as you can see here, I'm waiting in this middle area and loads of people come around the corner to me, and it's just like picking fish out of a barrel, and it's a really easy way to get good games on Dome. This spawn system is not unique to Dome. This is the same on every single Call of Duty, on every single map, on more or less every single game mode. Obviously search and destroy and the non-respawn game modes don't count. And things like domination, they're more likely to spawn closer to their flag. Demolition, they're more likely to spawn closer to their defending sites, and obviously headquarters is completely random. But it never is completely random, because they're never going to spawn you on top of your team and vice versa. And now, using this sort of knowledge, you can easily get consistently good games on all maps. And that is the way a lot of the good players play. In fact, I'd go out and say that's the way all good players play. All the good players, Fearcrad, Stocky Snake, everyone, they all look for the spawn points. Their gun skill isn't, well, their gun skill obviously is really good, but that is nothing compared to how their brains work and how they think. It's how quick you predict the spawns and with what accuracy you predict the spawns that makes you a really good player. Now, I hope this helped you out. I think I'm coming towards the end of my video in a few minutes time, and as you can see here, I did get my Pavelo and my Overwatch, and it's absolute carnage. And you see, I'm looking up here for this guy on the balcony, and he was there all along, and I didn't see him at all, but I think my Overwatch picked him off just as he killed me. And you see I'm going back to this green area, I'm trying to find the spawns of UAVs up, and I know they're going to spawn there, and it is just the key to Call of Duty, and I really hope you can take something from this game. I know a lot of my subscribers will already know this sort of knowledge, but I know a few of you won't, and I really want to share it with you. I hope it does help you out. Now, once you know the spawns, what else is there to know, I hear you ask, and really there isn't that much. After that, it just comes down to practice, and it's gun skill and positioning yourself behind head glitches in different areas, trying to be unpredictable. I mean, if you're against really good players, coming to the middle of a map every time is going to be really predictable, and I would probably suggest to do something different. But otherwise, you're not usually against really decent players in public matches. There's probably one decent player in every lobby, I'd say. And by decent, I mean, 2 KD or above, maybe 1.5 KD or above. The good players are going to predict you going back to the middle of the map, whereas not very good players will not. But anyway, the end of the game is coming quickly now. You see I die here, and I've cut out quite a bit of the video because I died a few times. But I think I finished 51 and 8, so I hope you've enjoyed this. BigWilfo is out.